thing is not on. Hold on. 1 second. Hopefully this sounds good. Let's see. Let's wait for a second, make sure you guys can hear me, and then we'll get started. Okay, it is definitely starting up. Can you guys hear me fine? And once I know that, we'll get started here. Hold on. Okay, sounds good? All right. So we have Dark Angel today. This is the one I wanted to win the poll because this is my favorite out of all those. Fairy of the Dead is close, but I think this guy might win as my favorite, more life-size prop from Home Depot. I do love the 12-footers, but this is more life-size. It's still huge. By far the tallest down here. It literally touches the ceiling. So it barely fits, so we can do it. But this is probably my favorite out of those. So let's get started. Let's unbox this. This one is exciting. He is just so cool. First of all, we got wings right on top. Right here. Here are the wings. It stopped. Uh-oh. Hold on. Does the audio sound good? Looks like it's good for most people. Here's one of the wings. It's not even fully posed out right now, but these are just massive, as you can tell. Look at that. It's huge. Okay. Let's put this down right there. Good to you? Okay. So we have another wing right here. We'll pose those out in a second. We have sword pieces. This thing is awesome. Fantasy type prop. Love that. Here's 1 piece, 2 piece. This is the blade of the sword. This is the just main bit with the I don't even know, hieroglyphics or whatever on it. It's just different symbols they put all over it. Looks cool. We have the last piece of the sword, which is probably the coolest. Look at that detail. Technically, if the sword is up, it'd be like this, but he holds it downwards, and you can see his hands are actually attached to that right there. He's got that knight armor type stuff on his hands. Looks really cool. So we have, let's see, we have a ton of clothing. This guy has amazing quality clothing. Home Depot did such a good job with this guy. It's just amazing quality. This is like what I've seen in professional stuff. Here's the head. I love this so much. People say they think he should be scarier. This, I think, is the scariest it could possibly be. Having that humanoid type face makes it so terrifying in the dark, especially when lit up right, that I think it's perfect. We have some more clothing right here. This is a small piece, so probably the hood. It's also stuck on the mechanism here. There we go. Yeah, that's probably the hood. It's either that or this. No, this is definitely the hood. This is a very, very small piece. Even though it's still huge, but this is the smallest out of all those, and this just drapes over his head. So we can put that there. We have 1 arm covered in foam, 2 arm covered in foam. We've got the mechanism. This thing is giant and very heavy. Look at that thing. It's got a full plastic framing for the shoulders. It's got 2 different motors, one controlling the wing flap and one controlling the head turn. So really impressed with that. Put it down there like that. Hopefully that stays. We have, this does have, so we have 1 pole right here. This is B, so that's going to be one of our legs. Here's another B pole down here. We have, let's see, we have hip loop right here. We have adapter. This is a 6-volt 2-amp, I believe. Yep, 6-volt 2-amp. John Arthur Wells, thank you for the $5 donation. Pool table is in the way, very much. But once we get to the larger props, we will move upstairs, and then we'll have a lot more room. Here is the base. Let's put this down right here. And then our final 2 leg poles, which are the next ones that go up and attach to the base of which you'll see in a second. But that's all of our pieces there. So let's close this up, and we'll slide it over out of our way. And then we can get started here. I'm going to have to move the camera down Uh-oh. I'm going to have to move this down a bit, like that, and then we'll move it as we go, because this thing is, like I said, the tallest down here, so it barely fits, and I do have a ladder ready because he's big. He is about 8 feet to the wings, maybe even a bit more, so he's very, very big. So, let's see. This is the front because of the sword. You can see this little prong up here. That's for the sword. So we know that we can start with the back, and we're going to start with B and B. Doesn't have feet, doesn't have shoes, so we don't need to worry about that. We can just start with, snap these two on, nothing to do there. These two do have a difficult little piece. Because these are connected back here, these two are on the same axis, as you can see. It's a bit difficult. We don't want to snap these in just yet because we do want to get these in. Actually, it might be better if we halfway get them down, not fully snapped in. Yeah, that seems better because now almost, there we go, got that one. Now we can kind of, kind of go down a bit more with this one, like that. There we go. Now we'll click these both down. They are both clicked in place, and now he's a lot more structural and just way more sturdy. So now, let's see. We probably can put the mechanism on next. So let's move the camera up to do that. And I don't think I have instructions, but I do have the instructions that they print on the box. So I'm going to check those just in case. I don't want to do anything out of order here. But yeah, it does look like we have the mechanism piece next. Technically, it's the hip piece that goes on next, but I already have that connected down here. As you can see, these are two different pieces. So it is this whole entire piece that goes on next. It's going to face this way, so I'm going to get one position, and then we'll go around like this. And there's a hip loop as well. I'm not sure if the hip loop can fit all the way over this. So let's see. If not, we can go from bottom. Nope, we're good. There's a big side and a small side. Big side's over here. Ooh, try to position that carefully. There we go. And then the other side right here. All right. So let's actually slide this down now. And we can click in both sides. His snap locks are working really well, actually, surprisingly. Okay, so let's make sure you guys can see everything here. We're going to have to get the clothing over. Now, this is probably the most difficult step. I'm going to check. Yep, that is what we want to do next. So I'm going to run the adapter up now because it's a lot of clothing to get under. Although there might be a Velcro section on his back. I kind of forgot. Hopefully there is. But let's do this. I'm going to get the ladder to make this easier. Where do I keep the props that aren't unboxed? That's a good question. They are over in a room right over here and in the storage unit. Most are in the storage unit, most of the large ones. The smaller ones are down here in the same basement, but they are just in a different room of boxes. But yeah, eventually we will be going to the storage unit and getting those ones. This guy was actually from the storage unit. That's why we had to wait a while to put him on the list. But I did get him because he fits in the car. Some of them won't very easily, like the 12-footers. Okay, so I don't know which piece. That's the hood down here. I know you guys can't see that, but this must be the main piece because this piece is huge. This is giant, but there's also another piece right here. No, this is probably the hood piece. Then I don't know what this is. This must just be like a cape piece that goes over. I do remember a weird piece that kind of draped around him, but this is definitely the main clothing piece right here. So let's lay this out. We want to make sure it's laid correct before we put it on because it does matter. He has internal lighting built up in the clothing. So, all right, I do see the back. The back does have Velcro. That's good, right here. So I know what side goes on the front now. Okay, let's try it. We'll go up the ladder now. I do have the front facing forward. All right, let's slide it over. And we can always kind of position it if we need to. It's just better to get it on forwards right away. Try to get it over the wings here. There's like little slots for the wings. I make this a bit difficult, but there we go. That should be enough to go down and pull. We're just gonna bring it all the way down until it meets the arms. We gotta get those arms lined up where he has a ton of excess fabric, which I love because that makes his arms look really realistic and really cool. Let's slide the rest down. There we go. I don't want to go too far. And actually now he is facing backwards again, this clothing. So let's bring this around front. I think he's facing backwards, unless he has this chest bit, but I don't think so. So let's flip it around like that. We had it correct at first, but there we go. Now it's correct again. I'm gonna Velcro one back here actually, just to keep this on, because I don't want this falling down all the way. His Velcros kind of get stuck to the clothing. That's the one downside with this clothing, but there we go. Now that's Velcroed, so that shouldn't fall off now. And then there's another piece that goes over it, because right now on camera it might be kind of obvious seeing through. Yeah, you can kind of see through the fabric right now to Jack Stalker, but that will change. Also up here will change. It's not going to look so blocky. So let's get the, I don't know, let's see what it, I think it's arms. Yeah, arms are next. That's what they recommend. So let's do that. We have one arm right here, and you guys are going to see right now how much excess fabric this thing has. It's awesome. All right. He is very tall. All right, there we go. Now, we want to make sure those lights are facing forward. Those are going to go up onto his head, light up his head, different colors. And also there are lights for the sword. Maybe. I don't remember. I had lights on the sword. I don't know if he includes them. I don't think they do. There's definitely lights on the wings and head. But yeah, I don't remember a wire going to the sword other than maybe a sensor. Maybe that's what that was. But there we go. Looks good. We have, but yeah, I definitely lit up the sword last year because I had green and purple all over it. That was probably just our own lighting for the graveyard. All right. Slide this up. And we're going to do the same thing over here. The arms do not move, so these prongs are going to stay in place. The wings do move, though. So those are ones you might want to zip tie in. I think I might this year because it's kind of bad in wind. Last year we didn't even have the wings on for most of the time because of wind problems. Because they catch a lot of wind. They're huge. All right, so we'll fix up all this later, but you can tell just how much excess cloth he has, and I think that makes it look so cool. Really creepy look. We have the sword bit, although I don't know which way to do this. I think let's start down here, maybe? I don't know. Let's move the camera down. This, like I said, doesn't move, so it doesn't really matter what order we go in now. So we can just go down here. Let's attach this first piece. This just slides into the prongs. Definitely, I think, easier to get that on first. Then we have our second piece of the sword, which is going to click in like this. That might be backwards. Hold on. Let's take that out. Try it this way. There we go. That's much better. Okay. And then we have our final piece. Let's move it up here by the hands. And this is the hands as well. So slide that down, and there we go. Now we can take these prongs, position them over, and they connect like that. I think this might have fallen off the top. Yeah, it looks like it did. Let's just put this back in the top. There we go. Okay, now his arms look good. There is a Velcro on here somewhere. I don't know. Mine might have fallen off. There we go. All right. Yeah, that looks cool. So now let's get this one on because it looks pretty uneven right now. This one has two different, oh yeah, there is a light on the sword, which is the one that actually faces to his head. So these lights on the arms are actually going to go backwards. That's why they were being posed weird, because they're going to go backwards onto the wings. That makes more sense. Okay, so this one's not going in too well, but there we go. That is in now. So now I'm going to take these wires and connect them to the back of the sword. And they should be pretty much fully hidden from view. So that's good. It doesn't look like they're different though. Oh, one has 3 wires. one has 4 wires. So you just kind of have to find the correct one. I know you guys can't see this, but yeah, I got the one with 3 wires connected now. So now we have the one with 4 wires, which barely reaches. That is very close, but I think I got it. Yep, there we go. And they are fully hidden now when we put the fabric on like this. Okay, I do want to do that with the other hand, actually. I like covering up the hands, but not the sword. The sword should show because it's very detailed and cool looking. Okay, so there we go. That looks really cool already. But now we can move up to the head up here. The head adds a ton of height, and then the wings go crazy high. Let's put this on. This does move. So this is going to go on a prong attached to a motor up here. And then there's another motor that I showed earlier that goes on the wings. So there we go. As you can see, he's massive already. Huge. And now, it looks a bit strange right now, but that will change. Now, we have some other pieces. I think we could get the wings on now. Let's get this hood and other piece on. I need to figure out what this other piece does first. I'm going to just check. Oh, it does go around the wings. It's basically just a cape. So you guys can see how this kind of works. It goes up the back like this, and it just completely acts like a cape. It's probably not exactly needed, but I think it looked pretty cool, so we'll do it because you can kind of pose out the fabric like this. Also, this should help cover up some stuff, maybe. But this is going to have to line up with the wings, so I don't want to make this too permanent right now. So for now, I'm just going to do one Velcro up here, and we will fix that up in a bit. Definitely not permanent right now. This is just going to hang out here until we get those wings on. So next, let's get those wings on, actually. Well, hold on. Let's put this hood on first. I know this hood is kind of weird, so let's make sure this looks good because there's definitely a way to mess it up and then it'll look really weird. So I'm going to make sure this is lined up first. There's a Velcro that's in the middle that lines up with his head. And then this comes down, and these come all the way over and drape completely down. And that can get messed up pretty easily and start looking really weird. But that should be good. There's also the lights that have to show, so we have to make sure this is in front of those lights, like that. This one's not. So we'll bring this over. There we go. And now the hood can be posed. There's a metal wire in the hood. I kind of like keeping it to the head shape more than this, but that should work pretty well. I don't know. I don't want it to come out too forward either, but let's see how that looks. That looks pretty cool, I think. Let's check. Yeah, that looks pretty good right there. We can also kind of pose this a bit more if we need to after we get the wings on, but yeah. It's a pretty weird hood because of just the size. But yeah, looks cool. And that also covers up that square type shoulder section. So let's get this wing on. First wing, let's make sure you guys can see this over here because this thing is huge. First wing's gonna go on this side. These are heavy as well, but the joints that they connect to are very, very strong, so that's good. Let's find it now. This is a very weird part in the setup because you have to find 2 different holes that line up to get to the wing section. I think I found it. Yep, I got it. So let's put this up, and that is touching the ceiling currently. We can slide it down. There we go. All right, so that's huge. There it is. Comes all the way down too. Now we have his other wing over here. All right, grab this down here. Same thing, just in reverse. I do love the shape of his wings too. They kind of spread out in a really realistic way. Uh-oh, we're gonna have to actually turn him here because he is kind of blocked. There's a little indent in the ceiling that's gonna make him not fit. So there we go. That should fit now. This piece just folded out. There we go. All right, let's try to connect it now. Yeah, I think we should be good. As long as they're not flapped in, as long as they're not in that in position yet, I think we should be good for now. We are gonna probably have to move them just a bit to fit though. Okay, there we go. There's his other wing on. Wow. So, he is massive. Look at that. The light is kind of shining in his way. Hold on. Try to find that one. There we go. That's better. Okay. So, yeah, he is absolutely huge. Uh-oh, hold on. Let's make sure you guys can still. Okay. So, there we go. You can tell just how massive he is. Let's try to pose stuff and wire him up, because I do have his adapter in, so that helps. I have the extension cord ready, but he is not fully wired up yet. So let's do that first. But he is ready here. All right. Now there is no real way to show this, sadly. We can try to flip him around. Yeah, well, actually, no, the wings are too big to show. So we'll try to just go through the front as much as we can, which might be easier because there are 2 layers on the back with that cape we added. But we have to figure out how to wire up all the wires from here. He has 2 from the head, I think. There's a red wire that goes to the motor, which is already plugged in from last year. And then, yeah, let's try to find all these. Oh, and his hip loop is off now. Let's try to put that back on before starting up there, because this is important. This definitely gives him good form, especially with wind and anything like that that can get it uncentered. Okay, now we're going to have to probably just go through the back quick. Can explain, but sadly can't really show that because the wings are way too big to switch around. So there are 2 black wires that connect to the motor. There is a 2-wire one that's red and white, and then it looks like the rest of the motor ones are plugged in. I know there's some from the arm that I do have to grab, and actually it looks like those 2 from the arm just connect up into one. So that's cool. That should be pretty much it. There's probably another, yeah, there's another wire coming from the other arm now, because the other arm also has some lights for the wings. All right, got that in now. And then I'm missing 1 all the way down from the hand, I believe. Okay, he should be on the correct mode now. And his volume should be good, but it looks like the wires from this hand are not going up correct. Oh, actually, it looks like they might be in the foam. Let's see. Yeah, they're actually coming out of the foam. That's why. All right, so that is fully plugged in now. It looks like that could be everything. All right, yeah, that should be everything there. So let's test it, and we can adjust stuff if we need to. Let's see. He should be on sensor mode, but I can't really see the switch, so I'm not sure if he is. Oh, reset. Can see some of his motion there. Yeah, it doesn't look like it is on sensor mode. Oh, it is.
Welcome to the afterworld. Do not think of this as the end of a life, so much as the beginning of a new one. Do not struggle. Darkness is falling all around you. You are mine now.
His voice and phrasing is probably some of the best I've ever seen.
Do you hear the wind picking up and whipping past? You have the claws of the afterworld already reaching out and drawing you near me. Let me show you the way.
So cool. Hold on, let's adjust this down here. He's probably gonna censor one more time, but let's adjust all his clothing, because what I was doing is I would put this out, and you can stake this in the ground really easily without causing damage, which is nice. And you can stake it out kind of like that as a big cape. Just makes him look even bigger than he already is. But go back up here. Let's turn the lights off for one of his demos because he does have the internal lighting. Try that one more time.
Judgment has spoken. The old life you hung on to for so long will now be cleaved from you, so that you can enter into the abyss with me, untethered.
So cool. He is super intimidating and super scary. That thing is awesome. Okay, so let's unplug it. We'll do some demos, and then we'll come back to him for anyone who missed him at the end. So what do you guys want to see first? Let's see. Little Skelly Bones. First one I saw. Let's go over to Little Skelly. Here's Skelly right here. Let's actually slide him back just a bit because he's kind of close. There we go. And let's plug him in. He is going to have to reset quick because you always got to keep him in the up position for that spring. Try to expose the sensor here just a bit better. There we go.
Three, two, ready or not, here I come. Da 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 da.
Do it one more time.
For the dead and the dead will pray for you. You can pray for the dead, but the dead will prey on you.
All right. Let's let him reset so that spring stays good. All right. Now, let's see what the first one I see is Nightcrawler. All right, let's go over to Nightcrawler. He is over on the other side over here next to a lot of the other props. And if you guys want to see some of these, now would be a good time because there's a lot over here. Look at all these. These are all the previous setups. Here's the Nightcrawler right here. Let's plug him in. He should be on sensor mode already, so. I do have to make sure this is his. This should be his adapter. Yep. His lights are off, so. Oh, there he goes. All right, we'll let him jump up one more time. All right, there we go. Springs are good. I saw a lot of Jack, so let's move right over here. So here is Ghostly Gentleman Jack from Halloween Costumes. This thing is really cool. Let's plug him in. This is another one I believe I don't have the lights plugged in for, but we'll see. There he goes.
History calls me the Ripper, but I never fancied the name. I prefer the slice of neck. So I think it best if you just call me Jack.
There he is, Ghostly Gentleman Jack. Unplug him there. All right, what next? Jack Stalker. Move over here. Jack Stalker is kind of behind Fairy, or Dark Angel here. So let's try. We are going to have to kind of move him out of the way. So right here, this is where Jack Stalker will be. Let's just slide Fairy out of the way just a bit. That should be good. All right, and there's Jack Stalker. Everything is going to start going, the conveyor belt, so we'll let that go, and then we'll censor Jack. All right.
Here comes another fool who thinks it's safe it can come so close to us? Yeah, they must not be very smart. Well, no matter. I'm sure they have more to offer than just brains. True. I can sense a delicious soul in there somewhere. I have a few ideas as to how we get it out.
Really cool concept. All right. So, Lucky Bottoms. I saw a lot of Lucky Bottoms as well, so let's move right over here. Try to get past these guys. There's a few here, a few newer ones here, so kind of difficult to get around that way, but here we are at Lucky Bottoms. All right, let's plug him in. He is constant, so he is going to go as soon as we do. Plug him in. All right. Try to get him around. There we go. All right, there he is. He's super creepy. All right, let's do 2 more before we go back to the Dark Angel for anyone who missed that. Punchy, lots of Punchy. All right, here's Punchy. Come back here. We are gonna have to let his ball inflate real quick. And also we can turn off the lights because he looks really cool in the dark. All right, so he's inflating and he's probably, yep, he's gonna go right away.
Closer. I have something to tell you. It's so funny. I promise you'll die laughing.
All right, so we'll let his ball inflate just a bit more. Then we'll turn off the lights here. All right, that looks better, so let's turn off the lights.
Round and round and round I go. Where I stop, soon you'll know.
There he is, Punchy. Let's unplug him quick. All right, we'll do one more before going back to Fairy of the Dead for anyone who missed that. All right, next one I saw, Peekaboo Clown. Let's move over to Peekaboo. We'll go right over here. He is right in this area, right here. All right, closest plug. Hopefully the outlet reaches. Yeah, the outlet should reach here. All right, he is plugged in. His sensor's pretty good, so he should pretty much go off right away.
Where'd everyone go? I can't see. I can't see. Because I had my eyes closed. Blah. But I'll keep them open to see where you run away to. You can run, but you can't hide.
Awesome concept. We'll let him go one more time.
Ooh, Halloween is so frightening. I can't bear to watch scary things. I'm such a sensitive soul. Blah! Perhaps you will come closer and keep away the boogeyman.
There he is. Bobo can work with Colossus. He is coded to be with the Sleeping Giant, so he can be coded directly to be with Colossus as well. You can also probably just use the phrasing that they both use, or just make your own phrasing for that. But Distortions can totally customize that. Might cost a bit extra, but yeah, Bobo does cost a lot extra, but the recoding can happen with Colossus too. I do like Bobo a lot. I don't plan on getting him, but maybe eventually. I think the pair is really cool. All right, so for anyone who missed him, here is Dark Angel. We'll plug him in one more time, but we can also come back to him in other demos or in other live streams to do a demo of him. Let's censor him here. Censor is on the sword. Takes a second to warm up. And we can also do a dark demo too because he does have the internal lighting, which looks really cool. Hold on. Censor takes a very long time, actually. Weird. Okay. Let's just turn him on. Oh, okay. There he goes.
Do not think of this as the end of a life, so much as the beginning of a new one. Do not struggle. Darkness is falling all around you. You are mine now.
Do one more time here, and then we'll go to dark. Seems like it works better from far distance because he was going off a ton on Halloween.
Do you hear the wind picking up and the whipping past? You have the claws of the afterworld already reaching out and drawing you near me. Let me show you the way.
All right, hold on. Let's turn off all the lights. Okay, now let's censor him one more time.
Judgment has spoken. The old life you hung on to for so long will now be cleaved from you, so that you can enter into the abyss with me, untethered.
The way his lights fade out make him look awesome as well. Overall, such an amazing, amazing prop. So there he was, the Dark Angel from Home Depot. Tomorrow we are going to be back with the Clown Go Round, I believe. I'm pretty sure that was the least voted option, so that is the next one. And then we are going to have a new poll for the next 5. So that poll will probably have mostly 2020 and 2019 stuff. Mostly 2019 now, probably, because there was a lot of 2020 in this these streams. But yeah, there he was, Dark Angel. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.